Hello everybody, it's Gary here with another transfer update for Tottenham Hotspur. Links this week have been quite dry and not much has really changed compared to the last time one of these videos was made. Still seems like we hold a big interest in Eberchi, but it seems like that £50 million upfront fee that Crystal Palace are demanding is seeming to be quite difficult, not only for Spurs but a fair few clubs. That is a lot of money up front. If Spurs were to do a £100 million deal, you wouldn't even be expecting that much money up front. And Daniel Levy likes to spread these costs over a long period of time. Something's going to have to budge if this deal is to happen. Either Spurs are going to have to act very un-Spurs-like and push this deal through, or Daniel Levy's going to have to come up with something very creative to get Palace to budge. And Steve Parish is not an easy negotiator. Think back to when Wilfried Zaha was having interest from a lot of Premier League clubs. Palace did not relent, and I don't see them relenting with Eberchi. There have been some conflicting reports over the X platform recently about whether our targets are Eberchi and Doue, or Eberchi or Doue. However, it would make sense if Doue was seen as an alternative to Eze. Doue is a world-class talent. He is so good. World-class talents aren't hidden though. Every club in Europe knows how good Desiree Doue is, and they are pouncing. Reports in Germany are suggesting that Bayern Munich are the favourites, with PSG hovering. However, reports elsewhere are suggesting that Spurs are actually the favourites. I don't know who to believe per se, but we would have to pull out the stops if we were to be able to convince Doue to join Spurs over the likes of Bayern Munich, Chelsea, PSG. PSG is the one that I am a bit worried about because he is a French boy, and there's a gap at PSG at the moment for a new French star. Finally, the links to Pedro Neto. They have strengthened recently in the last few days, with Ben Jacobs reporting that Spurs are the most keen club out of those who are interested in Neto. Wolves are apparently putting a £60 million price tag on Pedro Neto, where Spurs value him at around £45 million. Given Wolves have just sold Max Kilman, and they don't really have any PSR issues at the moment, I could see a situation where they don't budge on that valuation. Then you have to ask the question whether it is worth spending £60 million on an injury-prone player. Don't get me wrong, a fully fit Pedro Neto would revolutionise our team. That explosive ability that he has, ability to take on a man, it's something we genuinely do lack in our team. If we were able to get 2 out of those 3 over the line, let's say Doue and Neto, it would genuinely transform our team. Having 2 absolutely amazing wingers with Son in the middle. It's going to be difficult though, and it's going to require a lot of money. But as I've said, and I've continually said, this is a season to back the manager. With everything that's happening at Man City at the moment, Liverpool with a new manager, Chelsea with a new manager, Man United with being in an absolute mess. Arsenal are the real title contenders, but there is a gap for us to challenge. Plus, we've got the Europa League in our sights as well, and us as Spurs fans would love to win something. The Europa League would literally make me cry. There is a good chance that we can get a Europa League, FA Cup or League Cup this season. But there has to be reinforcement in the squad. Some of that reinforcement can come from the under-21s who had a spectacular season last season, as well as the likes of Mickey Moore. It's no surprise that Mickey Moore are having people circle around his situation, but the reports are that he is very happy at Spurs. He's going to need game time though. We have to be able to find the balance between integrating these young players into the squad, but still remaining very competitive in the cup competitions. The earlier you integrate them in, the more comfortable they will be, and the more faith you can put in them for the cup competition. Harry Kane came through by playing in the Europa League. That could be the same path that Mickey Moore takes. I know there are reports suggesting that Spurs' main transfer target is a striker, but from the ITKs, it doesn't seem like the striker is as valued a target as the media are reporting. Ivan Toney is obviously there, and he is the obvious target. While some media outlets are suggesting that Santiago Jimenez is the main target, while some outlets are suggesting that Santiago Jimenez is a big target for Spurs, those within Spurs are distancing themselves from those rumours. Sky News did suggest that Lewis Openda is one of the targets, but he would come with a massive price tag. I think Son and Richarlison can do a job next season, especially if we immensely improve our output from the wings. So I don't see the striker as being as big a target as some others do. And then there's a number 6. Archie Gray is amazing and he has such high potential, but there is a question as to whether you can trust an 18-year-old who hasn't played a single minute in the Premier League to be our starting 6 throughout the entire season. What happens if in the first few games, he looks ropey. Do you continue to trust him, or do you bring in a ready-made number 6 to play ahead of him, and he's the understudy? There's obvious links to Edison from Atalanta and Amadou Onana from Everton. It seems like Arsenal are the ones circling around him. Other than that, there isn't really a number 6 that is of the calibre that Spurs would require. The new Brighton signer, Wawy, I think his name is, whatever his name is, I'd heard reports that he was a very good 6. I've never watched him, but I'm just believing what the reports say. And then there's the Luis Palacios, I think his name is, or whatever, the Palacios from Bayer Leverkusen, where there have been some reports that we might be interested in him, but I don't see why you would leave Bayer Leverkusen for Spurs at this stage of your career. It would be to see us sign Pedro, Neto, Eberchi, and Doue, but from everything that I'm seeing, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And the best case scenario is we get 2. Again, some reports that if we were to bring Doue in, we'd also bring his older brother in. I think it's his older brother. His brother in. I don't know if he's older or younger, who can play right back. And he is seen as a good player. Not the same quality as Doue, but still a good player in his own right. Finally, media outlets have suggested that a centre-back is on the agenda, but it's going to be later on in the season. Pre-season starts very soon, next week. So we do need to get the ball rolling in terms of signings. Let me know in the comments below who you would like to see Spurs if you're looking forward to next Premier League season.